Patriots Nation, Foxborough shook today. There's a two-play burst that flipped the mood at Gillette, an unexpected visitor to the backfield who could shake up the depth chart, a market target capable of locking down the blind side, and a veteran who's not only producing, but reshaping the locker room. Want to see how it all connects and why this week could redirect the season? You won't believe what we've got today. So grab a seat, drop a like, and let's go straight to the updates. Stay sharp because there's a twist in the middle almost no one sees coming, and it changes how we should talk about the stretch run. Patriots Nation, did you feel that at Gillette? Drake May flat out ignited the stadium with a two-play sequence that left even the vets wide-eyed. First came a 28-yard scramble right through the teeth of the Browns' defense, the kind of burst that echoes some of the league's greats. Before fans could catch a breath, he dropped a perfect 39-yard strike to Kayshon Boutte, and the place detonated into a thunderous MVP chant. At 23, he's turning what looked like a rebuilding year into a story of renewal. The momentum is different. The confidence is different. The energy around this team is unmistakable, and it's spreading from the sideline to the last row in the upper deck. What's even more striking is how May still seems genuinely surprised by the love. He said he didn't hear the chants because the guys were teasing him about the slide at the end of the run. Classic rookie moment. But without noticing, he's writing a fresh chapter of the Patriot way. The rookie already sits north of 2,000 passing yards with 15 touchdowns against only 3 interceptions, stacking a passer rating over 100 for 7 straight games. That's elite. And the locker room feels it. Boot put it bluntly. He does everything the best guys do. That's respect. That's leadership built in real time. The offense looks faster because the ball arrives on time. The scramble threat widens throwing windows. Third downs don't feel like coin flips anymore. They feel like solvable puzzles in the hands of a quarterback who sees answers before the snap. There's also the intangible piece. Defenses now hesitate to play static looks because May punishes vanilla. That hesitation buys an extra half second for receivers to uncover and for play callers to layer concepts deeper into the playbook. You can sense the ripple effects. Protection calls are crisper, route stems are sharper, and even the sideline rhythm, the handoffs between position groups between series, feels professional and composed. When a city rediscovers belief, it sounds like that MVP chant. When a team rediscovers belief, it looks like receivers finishing routes, linemen straining through the whistle, and a quarterback walking into the huddle with total command. Here's the curveball. That climb isn't over, because while May becomes the face of the franchise, the machinery around him is shifting in ways that could change the pieces at his side, starting with a potential move in the ground game that might quietly rebalance the entire offense. Balance isn't a slogan, it's leverage. Force defenses into split safety shells and the explosives come back. Win 4 yards on first down and the whole playbook opens on second and medium. That's where today's rumor might matter more than the headline suggests. And while those MVP chants were still bouncing off the bowl, the rumor mill heated up with an unexpected wrinkle. According to reporter Aaron Wilson, the Patriots are set to host a familiar face to Mike Vrabel for a workout in Foxborough, running back Jonathan Ward. The name won't crash a headline, but there's a detail that matters. He worked directly with Vrabel in Tennessee, knows the expectations, and most of all, understands what it means to be part of a roster built on discipline and execution. That profile is exactly what this new staff has prized, especially for players outside the top of the depth chart. Ward has spent time with the Cardinals, Titans, and Steelers, appearing in 46 NFL games. While his offensive counting stats are modest, his special teams impact is what keeps him firmly on New England's radar. He's the do-the-dirty-work type, the kind of player Bill Belichick prized for years and Vrabel wants to keep alive in the DNA: versatility, relentless effort, and assignment soundness. Think kick coverage lanes, punt team landmarks, and the willingness to step into pass protection on third down without blinking. Coaches sleep better when the bottom third of the roster is full of players like that. The reasoning is obvious. The running back room is thin. Ramondre Stevenson remains the pillar but has had ball security blips. Trevayon Henderson hasn't yet earned the staff's full trust, and that Week 8 fumble didn't help. Behind them, you're mostly looking at practice squad names. That leaves the offense vulnerable, especially now that the Drake May plan demands equilibrium. Punish light boxes on the ground and make defensive coordinators pick their poison. If Ward proves dependable in pass pro and trustworthy with the ball, he can let the staff redistribute touches without overexposing anyone. That also matters for November weather, when field position and hidden yards decide games most fans remember as one big play. Bringing in Ward would be a bet on depth and reliability. He understands protection rules, contributes on return units, and can take emergency snaps without blowing up the script. Best of all, he'd cost virtually nothing against the cap. It's the kind of quiet, blue-collar move that steals a win in the cold of December, when margins get razor thin and every third phase rep matters. Don't confuse low headline value with low impact. Sometimes the move that flips a field or stones a blitz is the move nobody debated on talk radio. And yet, while the offense hunts for stability on the ground, the front office is looking up, literally, at the big men charged with guarding the franchise quarterback's blind side. In the middle of all this offensive noise, the personnel department zeroed in on the area keeping fans up at night: the offensive line. Protection for Drake May has fluctuated too much, and the Patriots are surveying the market for reinforcements. One name in particular has started to gain serious traction. Braxton Jones, the Bears' left tackle, has become a credible trade target, and not by accident. He's lost ground in Chicago, but voices around the league still see him as a solid, technically sound tackle who's young enough to be a medium-term bet with starter upside when healthy and properly slotted. League chatter tied to ESPN has listed Jones among the top 25 candidates to move at the deadline, and the Patriots show up among the teams that make sense. He's on injured reserve at the moment. That doesn't block a deal, but does reduce the immediate plug-and-play appeal. This is where Vrabel and personnel chief Elliott Wolf can be wise rather than desperate. The plan isn't a bandage, it's structural. Build stability, don't chase quick fixes. Give the quarterback time and the root concepts time, and you get cleaner pockets and cleaner answers. With Will Campbell and Morgan Moses giving everything they've got on the edges, New England still needs that reliable blindside anchor. Jones, with his mobility and refined pass-pro footwork, fits a scheme that asks tackles to redirect, climb, and reset to unlock the full Drake May menu. You want a tackle who can live on an island in obvious pass and still reach a wide 9 on outside zone. Jones checks stylistic boxes: the likely price, day 3 capital, think a 6th rounder, maybe a conditional 5th tied to snap counts. In a market inflated by injuries and competition, Rams, Raiders, and Chargers are schematic fits and could monitor this too. That's exactly the kind of move that looks small in October and gigantic in January when one drive swings a season. There's also cap logic here. A modest pick and a manageable contract let you keep powder dry for another addition while protecting May's development curve. If Jones needs a ramp-up period coming off IR, you can slot him as a high-end swing in the short term and reassess down the stretch. That optionality matters. It keeps the floor high while protecting the future. Behind the scenes, the message stays steady. We'll evaluate any opportunity that improves the roster. And if there's a single position that can define the stretch run, it's this one. The offensive line must be the shield of the future. If Jones arrives and gets right physically, New England may finally find the piece that turns good performances into week-to-week consistency. But if you think that's the peak of the day's news, buckle up. The final storyline centers on a name many believed would never look this at home in Patriot blue and silver. Sometimes the biggest change isn't schematic, it's cultural. And culture wins when the weather turns and the stakes rise. Just when fans thought nothing else could shock them, a name surfaced that few expected to fit the Patriots culture this seamlessly: Stefon Diggs. Yes, the same wide receiver who had headline-grabbing friction in Minnesota and Buffalo is, right now, becoming one of the most respected leaders in Foxborough. Under Mike Vrabel, Diggs looks like a different player, disciplined, focused, and fully committed. And the effects show up not only on Sundays but in the everyday heartbeat of the building, from meeting rooms to walk-through tempo. In recent weeks, Vrabel has publicly praised Diggs' example. The coach hasn't minced words in calling the veteran a pro's pro, crediting his influence with helping shape the new environment at Gillette. Coming from Vrabel, an ex-Patriot who lived the Patriot way, that stamp carries weight with everyone from rookies to staffers. It gives permission for the room to elevate standards and a model for how to communicate through the inevitable friction of a long season. The impact cuts both ways. On the field, Diggs quickly became one of Drake May's most trusted targets, delivering chain-moving catches and his first home touchdown as a Patriot. Off the field, he's the mentor that young receiver room needed, setting standards in preparation, communication, and situational awareness. Watch the small things: spacing on scramble drills, adjustments to leverage, the way he sets up a defender to open space for a teammate on the backside. Some inside the building say Diggs has become the offense's voice of command, something New England hasn't really seen since the Edelman days, and that voice matters when games condense into 2-minute situations. Skepticism still exists, of course. Part of the national media watches with crossed arms, pointing to past conflicts and insisting the other shoe will drop. But the facts are louder: no blow-ups, no internal drama, no diva energy, just production, maturity, and a collective focus that mirrors the head coach's tone. Diggs isn't rewriting who he is, he's channeling it. Competitive fire aimed inward becomes fuel. Competitive fire aimed outward becomes noise. So far, the fuel is powering an identity that looks sustainable. Vrabel made a cultural bet: rebuild not only the roster but Foxborough's spirit, and Diggs is central to that shift. He isn't just an acquisition, he's a symbol of what's changing. The Patriots finally have a true WR1 presence and a standard bearer at the position, and that combination gives a young quarterback answers when the picture muddies. If the chemistry keeps building, New England may be constructing something that goes beyond a nice season, a new cycle of identity and purpose. And if this is only getting started, imagine what's coming when the schedule tightens, the temperature drops, and the margin for error shrinks to a handful of plays each Sunday. Patriots Nation, the vibe in Foxborough is different. After so much time spent between doubt and rebuild talk, this team is inspiring confidence. And it's not just the scoreboard, it's the posture, it's the details. Drake May is already flashing the kind of greatness this franchise recognizes. The roster is responding to Vrabel, who restored the competitive edge. The defense looks mean again. The complementary football is returning, and the locker room is aligned. The future finally feels promising. Now I want to hear from you. Do you believe this group can chase something big this season? And which move would you prioritize first? Depth at running back, a swing at Braxton Jones, or doubling down on wideout chemistry with Diggs as the pace car? Sound off in the comments, hit like and subscribe, because the new Patriots have already begun, and the best part of this story might be the part we still haven't seen.